welcome to another episode of the United Fan Zone. We've got Mikey Douglas here. Man United come back in overtime, as I'm going to say here, right at the end of the game to beat Man City 2-1. How you feeling, Mikey?
You know what? That win really lifted my spirits, man. I gotta say that was a comprehensive. I don't want to say comprehensive. Let's use another word. That was a good. People saying smash and grab. I don't think so. I think it was a good top to bottom win. We deserved that win. We had more of the chances. We looked more dangerous in the second half, and I feel good.
Yeah, I do too. I think the first half was, kind of mixed. We definitely grew into the game as per usual. But the second half, I think we mainly controlled it. We'll get into the ins and outs of the game here in a little bit, but I want to start off real quick because this is a very, very large talking point, very contentious right now, and it is the name of the show right now. The headline: is Marcus Rashford going to leave in January, or are we going to keep him until the summer? What are your thoughts on this? Because it does look like it's going to happen now. I think there's no coming back from this.
Yeah, it's just a matter of football is weird. So it's not like, our sports here that we're trading people, right? Like you could trade, we're going to do a trade with some cash consideration, or we're going to get some picks or some draft picks, or we're going to get future incentives or anything like that. It's not like that. So it's like this once again, and I always say this, there's only 16 clubs that can afford those wages.
Yeah.
In the world. 16 out of the thousands of clubs that exist is 16. With everything they've seen, these 16 clubs, are they willing to splash the cash on this kind of guy? And I know what's going to be a thing is that I don't agree with, but I understand is that showing up to practice, traveling to Belfast, traveling to New York, all the stuff that comes with Rashford on top of his age is going to be something that's in consideration. So it's like you got to come off those wages, that wage expectation you have, kind of like David De Gea had to. He had to come off that wage expectation. The differences between the two of them is David De Gea consistently has performed at a high level. And Rashford has had up and down years. So that's another thing they're going to look into is how inconsistent he is and what is it going to take for him to have another 20 or 30 goal season as he did before, because the window's closing on that. The window's going to close on those legs and the speed. The window's going to close on a lot of stuff. And is he a cerebral enough guy to play with his passing that would make a team consider maybe I'll splash some cash. He'll be here for 3 years or so once the speed is gone. I don't know. I don't think he goes.
You don't think he leaves?
I don't think he leaves. I think if he does leave, bro, it's gonna be somebody. It's not gonna be anybody in the Prem for sure. And we're gonna have to eat. We're gonna have to eat a lot of it. But I feel like I don't think PSG takes him, bro. I think Saudi has to take him. It'll be a Saudi move.
I think someone. I think someone's gonna pick him up. He's shown that he can do it. Not consistently, but he's shown he can do it. From the number I'm hearing floating around today, is anywhere from 45 to 60 million. I think sometimes where you look at players like Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, you look at people that are dedicated and are there for their career. But then you also look at people like David Beckham, who, not that he was dropping off, but it was, in Fergie's eyes, it was time for him to leave. I think it's time for Rashford to leave. I still think he has a lot to offer. He's only 27. If you can go to a team like PSG, I'm hearing Barcelona, it's a good pickup for them. A slower league, faster paced guy, a 45 million with add-ons. I think he can still do it somewhere else. Obviously, he's going to take it, like you said, he's going to have to take a big pay cut if he wants to go to Barcelona. I think they can afford the 45, just don't think they can afford the wages. PSG can, Bayern can, but like you said, there's only a certain amount of clubs that can afford that. And I'm to the point now where I don't think he has an option other than to leave. I think like Amarim wants him gone, and I think he has no option to stay now. He has to go.
Amram has to show me more than one game where he's gonna bench him. He has to show me that consistently, like, I'm not picking you up anymore.
Yeah,
Like, you're just out of this team. I think he did it because he was so bad last week. I mean, in the last game.
yeah.
So it was like it made sense. Like, yeah, those two guys that you benched, they were terrible. But it's also like, you have the luxury to do that right now. All it takes is one winger injury, and then you're like, oh man, we're short, and
Yeah.
we have to change how we play. We don't have that many guys to fill in, so it's like, yeah, it's fine if we plan on selling him on. We have to already have his backup in the holster.
Well, 2 weeks
So
on Wednesday, that's when the window opens, and that's probably where we're going to see. Are we going to pick somebody up that's going to be that can cover that space? Because if we do, I think then we kind of see the writing on the wall. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, if you could pick up, I don't know who we get. That's the thing. It's like, who's out there that's going to be willing to work in the system,
Hmm.
one. And then the second thing is like, that's going to be on a decent amount of wages because we're broke.
Yeah.
So it's like, we can't splash the cash. We need somebody that can fit in the system and somebody that's proven that can play in this league. I think, to be honest, I think if Rashford does go, I think a team like Juventus or Napoli should get him.
I think he'd be good at UV. Yeah,
I
I think
think
it's a
he'd
good
be
option.
great at Napoli for sure. He would
Yeah.
tear it up at Napoli.
Hmm.
Just in Italy in general, with their grinding halt of a defensive game that they play with Napoli and Juve, and then playing the more offensively paced game of the league, I think he would do fine there. I think he would waste away in France. And I honestly don't think he has the levels to play in La Liga, to be honest.
Uh, that yeah. I don't know. See, for me, he's shown that he's got quality, but he's also shown he's got something's wrong, whether it's an attitude problem or whether it's a mental health problem. But it's clearly an issue, and that's why for me it's so relevant that it is a time to part ways with him. Because if this was the 1 year, say he had a great year last year, and this was just a slump, you know what I mean? I can understand, but he hasn't played well in 2.5 years now, and that, well, a year and a half, should I say, because the World Cup was 2 years ago. So that's a problem for me. And the fact that Anthony's playing better than him right now says it all. It really does. And for me, I wish him well. I think he will do well at a new club. But I just think it's time for him to go. And more importantly, it's good for Man United for him to leave, because if we can get 60 million for him, say that's just the number, that's 60 million in profit. Plus, then we take him 350,000 a week off his wages. It's a lot of money by offloading a player that is not consistently performing for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think we should just wait till the end of the season. Let's give him that. Let's give him the end of the season. It's whatever, and
Yeah,
and only we can only go for loan moves that we like, loan targets that we like. That is basically be an audition. Like, hey, you come in, we like what you do over here.
yeah,
Come in and do a job for us here because we're still kind of low as far as depth goes. Right?
yeah,
We're not packed. We're not as we have some players, but we're not like us. Like when you look to the bench, you're not like enthused by what you see on the bench.
yeah.
So, um, I say he stays. I say, bro, he's been in the club 20 years. He's a servant of Manchester. He's there. He's Manchester's own. Give him until the end of the season, and we
Okay.
give him a good write off. Then not January.
Yeah,
January just seems wrong. It just seems
yeah.
wrong to get rid of him in the middle of the season.
No, if
Wrong.
something does go, if a big number comes through in January, I wouldn't be mad about Man United taking. I would. I agree
It'd have
with
to
you.
be 60 million for me to be like, all right, we just couldn't turn our nose up at this money.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
actually agree with, it probably would be better in the summer. But if a number does come in for him that is, we can't turn our nose up, it's time for him to leave. I think Rio had some interesting points today. I watched his show today,
Please
and
say.
he said that there's quite a few things. The main one that I kind of took away from it was, and it wasn't necessarily, he was kind of giving like options of what it could have been going down, but one of them was, do these two not fit his system? because he wants the 210s that create the chances, but Rashford and 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, well, 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 it's more to do with his, decision making at such a young age. Rashford is not really creating much goals, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he was coming from. Do these two players not really fit his system? Because we already got a right wing back or a right 10, because that's 𝗕𝗏𝗻 now. 𝗕𝗏𝗻's not going away for a little while. The left side, I'm starting to feel that 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 does not belong on the left. He kind of starting to worry me a little bit on the left there. So left is definitely a necessity in January. If we only get one signing in January, it's got to be a left wing back. It has to be. So that was kind of what, and 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 doesn't get back enough for me to play left wing back. So I can see kind of where he's coming from. Does he not fit that system?
Oh man, I was just looking up 𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙀𝙀, but he just extended his deal to 2028.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Damn. I
Yeah.
like that kid. I think he
I
can
do
play.
too.
I think he can play for us. He didn't just do it. He did it last year. So he's gonna be there a while. Unless we pay him an absorbent amount to leave. And we can't do that.
Let's come to the chat. So KC, Ineos is going to have to take a loss. The only way they gotta eat that salary. Loss in a sale, not necessarily because he is, it would be pure profit.
Yeah.
𝗕𝗏𝗀𝙍𝙀 for Rashi.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, it's not equal trade.
Yeah. Casey, yeah, January seems like too much work. It could be depending on if someone's willing to just splash the cash in January. And then Rashford doesn't fit the system and his work ethic is unforgivable. Well, I want to touch back real quick on that January though, because if you're a businessman, right, and you're looking at Rashford right now and you're thinking, boy, I might be able to get him for about 50 million. What happens if he stays at Man United and starts producing and then his money goes up? If you're a businessman, you might want to take that hit and you might take that gamble in January and take it for 45, 50 million with add-on.
If he starts, we're not sleeping on him.
No.
I said it's not an equal trade because Creature's the better player right now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think you misread what we're
I got.
saying.
Yeah, no, I got what you meant.
Yeah, but yeah. The thing is, if he starts performing, he's gonna want to stay at Man United.
Yeah,
he's gonna want to stay. So it's like you gotta get him now. If you're gonna get him, you get him now, and you gotta give us the 60 or the 50 million.
Yeah.
But I just don't see anybody. I just don't see anybody seeing that much value in him. I don't see it. With everything, bro. Man United is not a team that's hidden. We're not we're not 𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙀𝙀. We're not like it's not Rashford's not a diamond in the rough that you're like there's an issue here and there, but like 𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙀, for example, right? 𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙀 had an issue where he was last because he had like an attitude issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came in here, started playing in the youth, whatever the case may be, and started producing. So he kind of found like a little bit of a diamond, young kid, rough. We could work with that. Rashford's known. He's older. He's been in this club, and he's had a series of issues that's been highlighted by the media. It's going to take somebody bold to step in and say, hey, I got 50, I got 60, let's do it now. I just don't see anybody doing that with his past. And I don't think the past is a big deal. That's me personally. I don't think any of the things he's done, we've had guys kill and rape people.
Yeah.
And they've been able to get on other teams. Okay. Yeah. So he'll find another team. Yeah. It's just a matter of who's going to spend the money that we want. Yeah. And I just don't see anybody spending 50. I don't see anybody spending 45, to be honest. Yeah. I think they'll 28 years old at that point. If he does leave in the summer, he'll be closer to 28. I don't see why spend that money on a winger at that age unless you want to sell shirts.
Yeah. So what do you think his issue is? Do you think his issue is it's not talent, like because the talent's there. You don't score 30 goals in a season if you don't have talent. What is do you think it's a mental health issue? Do you think it's a girl issue? Like what do you think it is? Like
I think, and I was dealing with this a little bit in my head today.
Yeah.
I just think that some guys, when it comes to football in general, some guys have it for a game, some guys have it for a season, some guys have it for a couple months. Some guys have it for a career. Some guys have it for, only in these kind of competitions. I think Rashford, we've seen the peak of his powers.
We
We know
have, yeah.
what he's good at, what he's not good at. Defenses no. On the depth chart, I just what made it sound like NFL. On the depth chart, when they see Rashford and they got to line up against him, they know, all right, this guy is not really inventive. He's gonna run at you. He might even buffer a little bit on the way there,
Uh-huh.
and it's not really nothing there. And I feel like his season when he scored the 30, and then the couple of seasons when he broke out,
Yeah.
that was it. I think we just seen him at his level. And I'm not excluding that he might have a level someplace else. Sometimes it takes a new change for you to get a new level.
Yeah.
I just feel like as far as the Premier League goes, as far as the top competition, as you guys like to call this league, he's just done here.
Yeah.
He's done here. Like Raheem Sterling, another one. He's just done here.
Yeah.
He's just done here. It's over for those kind of guys now. You have to be inventive. You have to pass the ball in. You have to be able to beat a man consistently and hold pace if you're gonna play on the wing.
Yeah. I really do hope he went into training today because he's the only him and Garnacho. They're pretty much the only two that went it. Because you have to go in. If you miss the game, you have to go in the next day. They were pretty much there by themselves. Tomorrow, I hope they turn up to training with the rest of the team with a different attitude and the same attitude as Ahmed had, because I watched his interview after the game, and there's another one that came out today with him talking about how he presses and like how he's it's important for him to be in the team. Like he said, I don't care if nobody else is running, I'm going to press and get that ball. Like that's great attitude. I know he's young and I know Rashford's older, but you're not deserving of being in a team. Football doesn't owe you shit. It doesn't owe you anything. Like I don't care if you've been at Man United for 20 years and you've scored a penalty to put us through into the next round or won us a title with a goal. Football doesn't owe you anything. And that's the attitude that like I love to see. And I love that 𝗕𝗻𝙍 is kind of picking this out and going, your attitude's not good enough. Like the way he said, he was like, I watch how you get dressed for a game. Obviously, he's meaning like, are you engaging with your players? Because when you get dressed, you don't just sit there quietly. You know, it's like, are you pumped up for the game? Like that's what he's kind of meaning, like how your attitude is while you get preparing for the game. And clearly, those two players are just sitting there quietly with their headphones on and not paying attention to the rest of the team. And I love that 𝗕𝗻𝙍's come in, and you can pretty much say Garnacho is a Manchester kid. He's been there since a very early age. So these two kids that are pretty much from Manchester, Rashford is missing out on a derby. I really hope that they come in tomorrow and this changes their attitude.
Yeah, and you guys are bringing up in the chat real quick. Exactly, Mikey. There's no secret when it comes to Manchester United. The only person this is Casey. No, the only person to fix the situation is Rashford. He needs to change the attitude ASAP. It just seems like he needs a change of scenery. Beat up by the media supporters, and it didn't develop under Ollie. Ronaldo, they need to take a page out of Harry Maguire's book. Harry didn't bitch. He shut the F up and worked. Ronaldo facts. Sanjeev. Big H is a great professional. Real quick. Yes, I want to give some flowers to Harry Maguire because, like, when it was dark times for Harry Maguire, I was one of the main guys that wanted him out.
Yeah.
But just as loud as the disrespect was, the praise will be just as loud. That's
Yeah.
how I am. I don't know these guys. I don't know them, and I don't owe them no money. So if they do well, I'm here with them. If they do bad, I'm on them. It just is what it is. Harry Maguire did very well, has done well, has been pretty consistent. As the difference is, though, Ronaldo is that Harry Maguire knows he's not a starter anymore for this club.
Yeah.
So like the expectation on him is less now. So if he goes out and performs, we're looking at him from the underdog standpoint. Like, look, man, he held on, even though he doesn't start, he's still going to win. And it's like, he's just playing well. And like we paid $80 million for him, dude. So he should have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
So I don't want the revisionist history to go crazy for Harry Maguire, although big ups to Harry Maguire for doing well. But Harry Maguire is not a starter for this club.
Yeah.
So now the expectation, he's not the captain anymore. He was stripped of the captaincy and of his starting role. It took that to get him to play to what he could be, and I think he still has a little bit more left in the tank. But shout out to Harry
Yeah.
Maguire for sure.
Yeah, and that's the kind of where I was getting at. I hope that it does the same for Rashford. Garnacho, yes, he's 19. He's very immature. I think there's some serious problems that really need to be knocked out of that player. Listen, man, I think you're gonna turn into a great player. You're not going to be, and you never will be on the level of Cristiano Ronaldo, no matter how much you try. Try and put some of that temperament back down. So for me, it's kind of stop trying to act like somebody else, be yourself, and make this team better. Because his greediness in a game is pretty obvious to see in some instances. I know Ahmed did it midweek, and him and Højlund got into it pretty badly. And then 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, I loved his response on that too. I want to see that in my team. I want to see them arguing. I want to see them saying, hey, you should have passed me that ball, because if you don't, that player's never going to learn, hey, you should have passed me that ball. And he had every right to be angry. That would have been a hat-trick for him. His first one for Man United. He had every right to be angry. Big H, yeah. Great performance this week. I looked at the stats. Haaland only had 2 touches in the Man United box the entire game. One of them was that shot that came off Martinez. Well done, Harry Maguire. 2 touches for supposedly the best striker in the world. He had 2 touches in the Man United box. Well done. I got to give you credit for that.
And that's also a thing. Like sometimes that's all he needs is 2. Yeah. So the fact that you were able to marshal him off with that's clinical. He's a clinical dude. Sometimes it falls to his feet and it's going in. So good job on him. I think it was a collective effort with everybody.
Martinez looked good this week too. I
don't think Martinez is getting the love that he deserves for that pass to Ahmed with the ball falling directly in between the man and the goalkeeper. One bounce, then a bounce off the foot, then a bounce into the goal. Like that, I watched that at least 60 times, and I'm like, is anybody showing love to Martinez for having the cojones to put that ball where it needed to be? And that's why he's the butcher. He's the butcher again now. Because not only does he butcher you up on defense, because he had, I think I've seen a part where they had a set piece and he was man marking Haaland, and it worked out. You know what I'm saying? But he's also could butcher you up with his passing. Pep, when he lost last year to us in the FA Cup, one of his main talking points was, yo, Martinez changed the game. He diced us up with his passing and carrying the ball late into the game. Yeah. That's what we need.
He has been a little off this year, and I just
he hasn't been good.
He hasn't been great this year, and I think that's his best performance of the season. Because again, it was also down to him to keep out, Haaland out of the box. And I also did love the man marking. I loved that Rasmus Højlund was on. I didn't realize how tall he was. He's actually taller than Haaland.
Like which 6'5"?
Yeah.
So how tall is Haaland? 6'3"?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how much, but he's not much taller, but he's taller than Haaland, which is impressive stats. But credit to everybody on that Man United team this week. Because
I do have a concern.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
I just wanted to say, credit to everyone, because that fight back, a team a month ago, let alone a year ago, would have capitulated and just it would have just ended up 2 or 3-0 to City. But great comeback. I think we deserved the win. I think we were the better team. But that's not really saying much considering how City are shit right now.
Exactly. And that's what I want to get into. Right? You hit it right on the head. I don't think, because the crazy part about it, and I just might sound like crazy saying this, but it's fine. I've been crazy before. I'm pretty crazy. I don't think this was a testament. The way we won and the level that City's at isn't so great that, like, I just feel like this game isn't really a testament of what 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 is or what this team is yet.
No, it's not. We're not going to see it till January.
I feel like like people are a little gassed, and we've gassed the fan base a little bit, like by winning this game the way we did, and or or they did it the way they did to gas us, the fan base. So they sound like I played, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily give us a good indication of our level
No.
because City is shit. They're shit, and I was the one a couple weeks ago that was like, yeah, man, City does this every year, man. They do something, but they've never done this. This is
No.
crazy.
Yeah,
This is
this
insane.
is
This a 1-11 is insane. Like
yeah.
that's wild. But yeah, it doesn't really give us a we did show up. It's a derby. Form goes out the window. You
Yeah.
go in there, you do a job and all this other stuff. But like I would like to see us win the next game against Spurs right on Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Actually, I'm going to be
Another side
opposite.
that's bad. Another side that's like hit and miss.
No.
Them beating City is not really anything.
No. They always
Now
beat
that we've
City.
done it,
Yeah,
and
they're City's bogey team. Like
yeah,
they always
they
beat City.
us 3-0 comprehensively at the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So like that'll be a better test to see like where we're at. And just imagine me saying that now in 2024, that beating Tottenham will be a good test as to where we are so far in the Amarin experience, as opposed to just beating City 2-1.
I'm on the opposite though. I kind of don't want to win on Thursday. I do, but because I want to see United. But I'm also because it's the Carabao Cup. I think United at this time of Amarim's career, I don't want us to go ahead and win the Carabao Cup and finish fifth, and then all of a sudden we're like jumping jacks like we were with Ten Hag because he won it in his first season. You know, I'm kind of at that point now where it's kind of like, hey, Amarim's new. We don't need all of these games coming thick and fast. I would rather lose that and concentrate on the Europa League.
For momentum's sake.
Yes. I get yes, for momentum's sake.
Listen, I do what City. I wait till I hear. I don't know how it even works, but I need to see what Spurs are gonna play because Spurs need to win something. Like they're like 3,000 days without winning anything, right? So they might play a strong side. If they play a strong side, we play a okay side, a decent side, and then we go. I can't turn down no trophies. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not turning down any trophies because when City won it 4 times in a row, they were loving it.
Yeah.
Then they started to turn their nose up at it. I would like to just add to the trophy case, but also I don't want to lose players in the interim. So if City plays a strong side, we play a decent side.
Yeah.
If they play a weak side, we play a weak side, and we just go from there. I don't think we start showing a more higher quality team or a fuller team until we get to later on, like maybe the semis and the final. But
it is nice to see that. I saw a video today and it was funny, and it kind of goes what I was going to say. It's nice to see that we're only 4 points off of fifth. But I watched a video today of Man United in 14th place, and it went whoop up to 9th, and it went boo back down 14th. It kept going and going, and we kept sliding back down.
What are we in now?
13th, I believe. We're only 5 off of 5th place though.
That's just the rest of the rest of the league is weird.
It's a weird year. It is
like
a very
now
weird year.
Aston Villa's weird, and like Nottingham Forest is weird. Like everybody's a little weird. Chelsea is overperforming. Like if you had asked me last year, I'm like, Chelsea's going nowhere. Now it's like they might win the league.
I'm cheering on Chelsea to win the league.
I
don't want Liverpool winning it.
I have too many Chelsea friends.
Yeah.
That annoy the hell out of me. And you know what? I'm gonna be real. Of all my Chelsea friends, and I'm gonna clip this up. I'm gonna clip this up and send it to them. Of all the teams that are around me, because I know a lot of people that support a lot of teams around me, a lot of communities I'm in. The Chelsea community is the least annoying to me.
The least obnoxious.
All my friends. Yeah, like all of them are pretty like even keel. They're kind of just like happy that it's happening, and they're overachieving, like, and then they'll pop up and win the Champions League out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So, if they win it, I'm not tripping. I can't have Arsenal and Liverpool doing it.
Arsenal are done. Arsenal, they're not winning the league. If City win their game in hand, they're 9 points behind Liverpool. They're not. Do you know the crazy thing is, City have won 1 in 9. They're only 3 points behind Arsenal.
Because Arsenal was stringing together a bunch of draws for a minute.
Yep, they drew at the weekend again. They drew with Everton.
Yep. Shouts
So
to Everton for putting up. I watched that game for a little bit, and it was like they defended for their lives.
yeah, Ashley Young was fantastic. The
Yep.
goalie, wow, he was like 12 good saves.
He like got one out the box from behind his back. It was great.
Yeah.
No, I'm
So
sorry. That was the Aston Villa game with
yes, Villa
Emi
game.
Martinez. That guy, yeah, I love that guy. He's so stupid.
Well, the goalie.
Yeah, Emi
Yeah.
Martinez is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I love what he did in the World Cup. I know some people
So
didn't like it.
He's
But
just like that. He's like kind of
goofy. Yeah. But yeah, we talked about defense. We've talked about Ahmed, Hainu, and Ugarte look really good in that midfield. They looked really good. What's your thought on that one?
I think Ugarte is coming along just fine now.
Yeah.
He's starting to finally come along, and that was the best game I've seen him play in a United shirt so far.
Yeah.
Mainly was pretty. He was on 7 level. I think he was pretty good. Nothing to really write.
I still don't think
about.
he's 100% fit.
Nah, nothing to write home about on that end. I think he was effective. I love how he bigged up Ahmad at the end, because it's really their team now, bro. It's their team. Like Bruno was gonna step aside, Casemiro's gonna step aside, Rashford might get sold, like it's their team. So I love the support. I love to see Onana jumping in the stands, acting like a fool. I love to see it, because like that guy's one of us, bro. He wants to be at the club.
Yeah.
He wants to be there. He loves playing for Man United. So like I love to see it. And I feel like everybody had a decent game except for Dalot.
Yeah.
Dalot's the only one.
Do you think it's because he's tired? That guy hasn't missed a game in how long? Like that kid needs a break.
I think he needs to primarily just play on the right.
Yeah, he does. He's not good. He's not good enough for the left.
Keep him on the right. I think that's where he's effective, and he can figure out the chemistry there. But to switch him, play left mostly, and not a fan. Sanjeev says Bournemouth in the Prem is a bigger test, in my opinion. Sanjeev, I did this earlier, and I passed it to you. But you know what? You're not wrong, because like the thing is with Bournemouth is that they set up well and they'll attack you, but they fall off the table after a while. They fall off the edge after a while, and then you could get in on them. So like, I don't think they're a bad team. They're just missing that end product. They're missing that last bit to get them through. But I do think they are a bit of you don't want to. That's the teams that we have in the last 10 years have had issues with, are those types of sides
that
are willing to commit going behind the ball and stacking and like beating us on the break. We haven't been able to break them down. So now we got the coach that's been showing that his 3-4-3 or 5-3-2 at times, can get it done. I mean,
the defense does
look. The midfield just gets it done.
The defense looked good. Like I watched the City versus Sporting game, and I was extremely impressed with how that went from a back 3 to a back 5, and I mean a straight line. I watched the game against City, and it was almost exactly the same. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more time to get it perfect, but it was good. They transitioned back into that line real quick. The 2 wide players look good. They drop back. They know when to drop back. And I think it did really well. They did really well. I'm excited to see some more of Lenioro. I think he came on and did a solid job when he came on. Zersky was kind of. It's hard to come on in a game like that. I will give him that.
He was a little gritty.
Yeah, he was. But it's hard to come on in a game like that and kind of catch up with pace, because it was back and forth game.
I don't think he'll be here next year. That's a guy I don't think will be here.
You don't?
I don't think he'll last.
Yeah, I don't think he's right for the system.
Yeah.
I think
it's not nothing on him. I just think the way he's built and what we want him to do, he has to really, I mean, just like everybody else, he has to really show. I mean, we haven't seen it as of yet. Yeah. We've seen flashes of good things, but not enough to put together a whole compilation and be like, all right, well, yeah, he does, because he holds the ball up well, but then there's also times where he loses a lot. Yeah. He hasn't been he's not getting any service to really fire the ball, shoot the ball any. And there's times where he's like dance past the guy, get in position, shoot the ball, and it's just not there yet. So I want to give him some more time, but I feel like Man United will pull the trigger a lot closer than I get to feeling like the time he should have.
No, I did like during midweek against in Europe. He did that really good run really early, and then he held that ball up really well at the end against City. You know, to get the final whistle. He went past all of those players by himself. So there are glimpses there of what he can do. But I think, being in his first year in the Premier League, it's a completely different game. I think, getting some time to kind of, I think he'll be here next year. But on the other hand, I also kind of don't see where he fits in too well, because if you look at kind of what Amorim wants from his striker, it's not always holding that ball up. It's kind of coming back, collecting that ball, passing it, and then sprinting to the goal. Because he'll probably, the through play. I think Rasmus did that great through play to what's his name, our captain, and he should have scored from that position. It was a hard shot, but he should have scored. That's kind of what he wants, and I don't see 𝙈𝙍𝙀 having the pace to be able to do that, because he is such a bigger guy. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna do this. As much as I criticize this guy, I want to give some credit to Anthony.
Yeah,
I do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Listen,
because you know how I feel about Anthony. But I want to give some credit. He's played well in the last 2 games. Yep. Like, he changed the game coming on for Europe. Obviously, Mount helped with that, but he changed the game and he did well against City. And that's another player that Rashford needs to take some credit for, learn from, because not just Big H. Anthony gets it too from the media. Oh, this guy's shit, waste of space, waste of 80 million.
Well, he's been dreadful though.
Yes, he has.
Been worse than Harry Maguire.
He has, but what I'm saying is, though, it looks like he's kind of, taken to the new manager and kind of stepping up a little bit and playing better. Like, if we could take it from the last two games, you're not buying me an Anthony Christmas for Anthony jersey for Christmas, Sanjeev. But
that's what Sanjeev wants. He wants Anthony to perform. I want him to.
I want him to perform too. Yeah, I do. I really do. Like, I don't see it. I don't see him being at Man United for long term. But I want to give credit, because credit is he deserves the credit. He has played well in the last 2 games. Do I see him as a starter for Man United? Not in a million years. But can he do a job coming off the bench? Yes.
I feel that Amorim is one of those guys that puts guys in position to do what they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And what Anthony is good at is he has pace and he could get the ball. He could progress the ball forward, and that's and then he can get back.
Yeah.
That's what we know for a fact he can do. So I feel like Amorim is going to put him in a place to be successful. I think he has plans.
It's probably that right wing back position.
Very quick, guys. We got people in here watching. Let's hit the like button too, man. Show some love. Let's help it get in the algorithm. Everybody watching now and in the future. Come on,
7 people, concurrent viewers. I want to see 7 likes.
Hit that like button, man. We're growing every day. We're getting subscribers every day. I want to see the likes going. But anywho, I'm once again always not sold on Anthony, but I want to say the biggest thing for me is this deal now with Miguel Gutierrez.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are, 2 days ago I read that we're in direct contact with him. We already got Diego Leon coming over. That's about done.
I think it is done. He's just we can't get him until January because he's not 18 yet.
Yeah, so now that's the left back.
Not January, June.
That's the left back. Real Madrid, Girona, 23 years old. That's the new thing that I want to see going forward, right? I want to see that deal happening now, and then us bolstering that left-hand side.
You think January does it look like, or is it more summer?
I hope January. I'm not seeing anything that's saying January. I'm just seeing impossible to refuse bid, Real Madrid on alert to make approval for him. oftentimes when Real Madrid wants to let go of someone, I mean, Real Madrid they know who they have. They know what they got. They spend a lot of money in recruitment and scouting. So when they want to let a player go, that means they haven't reached the levels that they think are acceptable. And that's the levels I think we need to be shooting towards,
Yes.
is those types of levels, is the Real Madrid success levels. Now that's a stretch, but us and Liverpool are the only teams with the history to show that we could do that, right? With that being said, I don't like that they don't want him
No.
at
There's a
23.
reason they sold Casemiro, and there's a reason they sold Varane, and we figured that out real quick.
Well, these guys are older and have won.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've done what you got to do.
But Casemiro was only 28 when he left Real Madrid.
We got the best out of you.
Yeah.
Here you go. You guys have won it all. You've won at the big stage. We need to get younger. So you guys are just too old at this point. You're just too old.
The thing is, they kept Modric, though. Not Modric.
Well, that's a generational talent. You keep that. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
keep him in that position, but you could stand. And then they won it again after those two guys left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they still won things. But they got Militao. They went and got Camavinga. Like, that could play any position on the pitch except striker. So,
and they're doing it really well now. Their recruitment's really, really good. They don't go and spend big anymore. They go and wait until that's the reason they didn't get Lenny Euro, is because they didn't want to spend the money and they wanted to get him free next year.
Yeah,
because they've done it. I think the largest they've spent in the last 10 years was on Jude Bellingham,
and he'll end up going there. He
will go with it, in the next in about 5 years,
yeah. When it's time, he'll end up going there. So that's cool. But yeah, we can. I forgot what we were saying, but we can match those levels. But I just don't like that he's not. Yeah, man. We can keep him. For the level of side that they are, going to Girona, playing. He's had one goal, but I want to see where that is. I would like to start bringing in guys at that position to see, because Luke Shaw just can't do it no more. He can't.
And this is the young kid that we just picked up. I'm 90% sure that kid is not 17 years old. The guy looks like he's 24 years old, and he's jacked.
Is he now? I've only seen little bits of him.
Yeah, he is a big physical player. Like, he's going to do well in the Premier League. He's very physical. He's a South American,
He's from Paraguay. Paraguay is a very strange country, bro.
Yeah.
The strangest country in South America.
Yeah, when I first looked at him, I was like, oh, wait, that kid's 17. But, but yeah, I feel like Man United have the base of what we need. I think I would say 3 to 4 players away from probably challenging for top. We may need a little bit longer for the title. But that all depends, because you look at Liverpool, as good as they're doing this year, they're probably going to lose 2 of their 3 big stars. Salah still hasn't been offered a contract. He's 32. Virgil van Dijk's in his early 30s now. And Trent looks like he's going to go to Madrid on a free transfer. So, maybe. And City's on the downhill. Arsenal are just called Bottle FC, Corner FC. There's a possibility we can win the league next year, And that's why I've always said, like, if we finish, when I say I don't care when we finish, I do. If we finish in 11th, I'm going to be pissed. But if we finish in like 7th and higher, I don't care. As long as we make Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we continue to show this progression. Because we've shown progression already.
I don't want Conference League. I don't want to be in the Conference League.
I get your point. Yeah, Chelsea don't want to be in it so badly that they don't even register their top players.
Yeah, I don't want to be in it. It does nothing for us.
No, it doesn't.
If we did win it, we would have been the first team to win it all. Truly win it all. So it's all right. Great result, but United are bobbins. Okay. I thought we were pretty. I thought we were pretty decent, man. I thought
we're showing
progression. It was an ugly game. It wasn't a fun game to watch.
No.
And I wasn't like, I ended up. So funny me, I had my kid all night, and I missed the game. So I just ended up watching it over. Yeah, I just ended up watching it over, and I watched it like 2 times, and I was like, yeah, this game is terrible.
Yeah.
But Those last few minutes, dog.
That's all it takes.
That Guardiol header was just.
It was so fluky. I don't deflection that came and just landed on his head. Now I was a little pissed with
That's what
Højlund
you
for
do.
not jumping for that because you're like 6'5". There's a possibility you could have got your head on it. But again, like you said, that deflection just put it pinpoint onto his head.
It's what you do. The thing about corners is that you put it in the danger area.
He's their second top goal scorer.
Yeah, hey, and that's not a
And he's
that's not good.
no.
That's so bad. That is
Yeah.
so. I just don't know what's going on with them. It's more than just Rodri.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just Rodri. But all these guys are getting older. De Bruyne is probably gonna move on. They're talking about MLS. Like
I'm going to say this now. No, he leaves in the summer. I think Pep goes. I know he just signed a 1-year extension, but I think he leaves in the summer. I don't think he has the heart. This team needs a big rebuild. That team needs a big rebuild, and I don't think he has it in him to do a rebuild. That's why Klopp left. He knew that they was coming up for a rebuild, and he didn't have it in him. He was tired. Shit, Pep's starting to look like Freddy Krueger out there. I don't think he has it in him. I think he goes at the end of the season. I think he walks.
If Klopp, so let's just say hypothetically, right? If Klopp knew that they were gonna have the season they're having now, you think he stays?
No.
So because they're gonna win the league.
I don't think they'll win the league.
You don't think they'll win the league?
No, I think Chelsea will win the league.
I think
They're too far behind, dude.
I'm talking about Liverpool. Liverpool now.
Oh, Liverpool? I don't think Liverpool will win the league.
Yeah, I said if Klopp knows what's gonna happen now, like if he was to have this foresight as to what was going on now, you think he would have stayed?
No.
Like you think he still leaves?
I think
because it's his team. It's still his team.
Yeah, it's still his team. I don't think they'll win the league. They are literally a Mo Salah injury away, and this guy's 32 years old. They're a Mo Salah. You can't play that amount of games in the summer in a year and not get an injury.
But he does though. He has consistently played those.
But he's getting older. You know what I mean? Like he's getting old. Like
I think you could do that sometimes, but there's guys like Bruno and they're Iron Man, Iron Robin. Like they play those games. They play them and like they last. I think.
But I just don't see them going for the rest of the season. And you've seen it in the last 3 games. They've drawn 2 in the last 3 games. Tiredness is catching up with them. The reason I think Chelsea win the league is because they have such a big team that most of their big names don't play in Europe. Whereas Liverpool are doing it in the Champions League as well. They're top of the Champions League. I can't see them doing all of this and still maintaining it. Whereas
so
like Chelsea are so fresh.
Huh? Yeah. They win one or the other. They either win the Champions League or the league.
Yeah. And I just think Chelsea are too fresh in the Premier League to not win it. And they're only 2 points. I know Liverpool have a game in hand. But you should never count a game in a hand as a win. You know, so especially when you're drawn 2 of the last 3 games. They're only 2 points behind Liverpool right now. A week ago, it could have been 12.
So with the wins they've gotten, right? And I know this is supposed to be a Man United show.
Yeah. It's a Man United show, but like you, I watch all games, dude. Like we can talk about other teams on here, and at some point I would like to get some fans from another team on.
My thing is that I got a few Arsenal fans that want to be on this show.
Oh, they don't want to be on with me, buddy.
They want to be on this show so bad. I told them we'd do a combined 11 next time we play.
Yeah.
But
or a watch along, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like looking at Liverpool, right? Liverpool and Chelsea's won the last 5 games they played, right? Yeah. And they've only lost twice, but they've drawn 4 times. Liverpool's drawn 3 times with 1 loss, right? If they could continue, this is actually kind of crazy to have 1 loss so far already.
Yeah.
With 15 played. But like I feel like the thing with them is that they keep themselves around in games late. But look who's the third best scorer in the league, Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
If Cole Palmer gets cold, like really cold and like not score, I feel like Chelsea don't have the firepower to sustain. Whereas like the second highest scorer, Mohamed Salah, with only 2 more goals at 13, I think his game kind of transcends to a point where like he doesn't always need to score for them.
He's the best player in the Premier League right now.
Oh yeah. I think he might be one of the greatest players to play in the Premier League when it's
No,
all said and done.
absolutely. He's top
Yeah,
10.
yeah,
Top 10,
for sure,
absolutely.
for sure. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. I gotta say it. You know, I hated Sadio Mane,
Yeah.
but Sadio Mane was one of the best players I've seen play
Yeah.
football in a long like that. He was third in Ballon d'Or votes one year
I hated
behind
Gerrard, but
Messi and
I can't.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, I can't sit there and say Gerrard wasn't a good player.
I hate to say it, bro, but it is. Shouts to Bandito. Bandito, what's good, man? I'm buying that book that you sent to me. I'm going to read that, and I'm going to give you a nice
What book is it?
talking to about it. He wrote it's a book about like hooligans and the football subculture that is casualism,
Yeah.
things like that.
Did you see the talking about that? Did you guys see what happened after the game Celtic and Rangers?
What
It was
happened there?
bad, dude. Like the town center went nuts. They were fighting, windows being smashed. Dude, it looked like 1980s football hooligans in Glasgow.
I
Dude.
think you gotta have a bit of that still, man. I think. Listen, I didn't grow up in it.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in it. I don't know. The only thing I have that's close to that, as far as like me being in there, is college football.
Yeah.
College football, you go into where Tennessee plays as a Georgia fan, you go into LSU, you go into, these southern places
Yeah.
where like you're not wanted here, they don't want you here, and there's an element. It's pretty tense in there. You might not make it out.
Yeah.
But this that they got going on here in England is insane.
Yeah.
And I think you need a little piece of that. It needs to be a little piece of it every so often. But the thing is, people get really hurt, and some people don't know when to damn stop.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
Because it's about the soil.
Been
It's
there,
about the soil. It's
been there and
greater than
seen
the
it, so I
American sport
know
'cause it's
full
about
well
the
what it's
soil.
like. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
full well was like. Yeah,
It's about the soil. It's about where you are and where you're from, and it's way deeper than a school that you went to.
Yeah.
But you need a little bit of it. But once again, as people bring out chains and hatchets and hammers, yeah.
But yeah, the next, well, I'm gonna take Tottenham out of it, Carabao Cup. So we got Bournemouth Sunday, and then what? So Bournemouth and Wolves are our next two games.
I mean, we do have Thursday show.
I'm just talking about like our next two games in the Premier League. What do you foresee from this? I know we got Thursday show. We'll go over that with Tottenham and stuff. I'm just talking Premier League here. We got Bournemouth, Wolves. I've got to see 6 points here. Got to see 6 points. If we want to start progressing up that table, we got to see 6 points here.
Wolves was one of the first matches I ever went to see. Us playing Wolves, and Wolves have had it in for us since they've been up.
Yeah.
Since they've been up. Oh yeah, happy birthday to Casey. The
I was
biggest.
gonna do a big happy birthday thing at the end.
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll hold up. No, forget your happy birthday, you waste man.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Wolves have had it. They're like Spurs for City. They've had our number a little bit.
Yeah.
Since they've been up. So they're pretty decent team. We're going to the Molineux to play them, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can win that. It's going to be tough. Even Everton stomp Wolves. It's a must win. Yeah, bro. I'm not mad at you, Q. I'm not mad at you, but Everton also just held Arsenal to a draw too. So
nice to see you, Q.
They've been picking it up. The thing is that what's wild about Everton, bro? Everton isn't a bad side. They have good players.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they can't figure it out. And I don't know if it's Sean Dyche that's the issue, if he wants to just play hoofball, but they have decent players. It's weird that they're underperforming the way they are.
Their buyout should be completed this week too.
Yeah.
So
I as much as I've been to Liverpool, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
As much as I think the blue side of Liverpool, I have a little bit of something less hate for them.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been as good. They were good in a time, but it's sad to see what's going on with them over there. It's just sad to see. But if they go down the toilet, it is what it is.
If they get relegated, they're done.
Yeah,
they won't come back up. Not straight away. They won't come back up.
What do you mean by that, Mike? What do you mean the Northwest Derby has no edge and that's sad? What do you mean by that?
Which derby?
Yeah, which one? What do you mean by that? You mean I'm just trying to see what you.
Are you referring to the Everton Liverpool one or Man United Liverpool, Man United City.
Bolton Wanderers United.
Yeah. Yeah.
Salford City versus. Nah, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop now.
But
The
yeah,
United.
whichever one. There's a few. I'm assuming you mean the Man United versus City one. Since it's a Man United show.
Hey, shouts to the away fans for staying and singing to them bastards and telling them exactly who they are. You
Cheating
cheating
bastards.
bastards. We
Yeah.
know what you are.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to touch on that real quick. Did you see it's concluded now? We're just
Yeah.
waiting. We're just waiting to it.
And they
Yeah,
upped the charges.
they did. They upped the charges, and it's concluded. Fact that they up they I don't know. This is what I foresee happening. I think they get a massive, massive point deduction, and not enough to get them relegated, but enough to keep them out of the Champions League the first year. I think they will. Then they'll appeal it, and at the end of next year, they'll get it. They'll still get a point deduction that will probably keep them out of the Champions League, and then that'll be over and done with. It's either that or they're gonna get stopped from signing players for a year or two.
This is the perfect time for them to come out and just say, "Hey, it's over."
Yeah.
Just lay the axe into them now and just boom.
The city is
130
yours.
charges.
130, yeah.
No.
The city is yours. I was singing that, and then I was also singing Pep's getting sacked.
Yeah, you see that there's some people that like want him to get sacked.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people are like calling for it. I'm like, bro, you guys have no right. You guys have absolutely no right to call for this man to get sacked. He's the best you ever had. These last 7 or 8, 9, 10 years has been the best you've ever had. You've never had.
Let's not forget though, we called for Fergie to get sacked at one point in the early 2000s. We wanted the Fergie out.
We were nuts. I mean, and look at us now, rudderless. But I also think, oh man, I might get slated for this. But I also think that like Fergie couldn't coach today.
It's a different game.
Yeah, I feel like
Fergie did a 4-4-2. It's a different game.
His age and like him being, I just think he couldn't. I think he retired at the right time.
Yeah,
I wish he would have gave us 2 or 3 more years, and I wish he didn't appoint David Moyes. I wish he didn't tip the hat to David Moyes.
See, I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm kind of I wish we gave David Moyes more time. You asking David Moyes to do an impossible job, and you were also he was also promised 2 very good players that didn't come through, and he had to buy Fellaini at the last minute. I think he was fired too quickly.
Yeah, but it's also like you had a. Also, he had the worst Man United side to win the worst Man United Premier League side to win a championship.
Yeah,
like to win it all. They were
Fergie in his last year.
Yeah, and that 2013 side was the worst of the champions. They were the worst champions we've ever had.
No, yeah, I just think he was given an impossible task of like, hey, you got to take over from Fergie with the worst team to ever win it. Like, obviously, Man United Liverpool is now a tourist trap, no longer Moody.
I've never been to that game, so I don't know.
It depends where you're going.
That's the game now, though, bro. I just feel like that's the game. When you open it up to worldwide acclaim, like the fact that we're here, I'm an American, you're English and live in Pittsburgh, and we're talking about Man United. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get this element in the top 6 sides, especially the bigger sides. So I just feel like
we have them in 3 weeks.
I hate it. I hate that that's the case. I've never been there, so I'm not arguing with you at all.
Yeah.
I just that's just what happens when you get a global commodity,
Yeah. Especially when Liverpool winning again, obviously you get more fans from around the world. United have the largest fan base in the world, so and as you know, trying to get a ticket to Man United sometimes can be near impossible. So,
yeah, I mean, I watched our pub. I didn't go, but I watched our pub go crazy for that City game. I wish I would have went. I just have fun with the boys, man. I have fun with the team. So, I hope when I do go see United v Liverpool, I want to go to Anfield and with the away. I got to hook up with the away. I just don't have time to go, but I can get away tickets pretty easily.
I think I'm going. Depending on who we're going to play, whether we're at home, where we're playing. Hopefully, I'm fortunate to be at home again. I think I'm going again in August.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in England for the 3rd and 4th week of August.
once the baby gets a little bigger, I'll definitely be making those. Still gotta come out there and still come to LA and all that. I got a lot of places to go. But yeah, man. Anything else you got for us? We're at the 9 o'clock hour. We're not bought. We can go as long as we want.
No, no, I do not. I know we'll do the. Did anyone win this week, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Oracle of the week.
I won it. 2-1.
Oh, you won it twice.
I won 2-1. I'm gonna post the clips to show that I've won it the last 2 weeks.
No, that's fine. We believe you. We'll do the Oracle of the week tomorrow. Are you on the show tomorrow?
I will be on tomorrow. I could always be on the 10 o'clock show. My kids be in bed, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do the Oracle of the week tomorrow for the Thursday game. No, other than that, yeah, we just the massive shout out to the big man, Casey. Happy 60th birthday. No, we're just joking, Casey, but much appreciated from everybody that, the 1878, United Fan Zone. We all wish you a happy birthday. All
Casey,
the fans.
You can eat half off now.
Yeah, he gets his free bus pass.
Yeah, you could go to the movies half off, all that.
Yeah. The culture is amazing. I do love, the culture that I see here in America when it comes to football.
I hate the MLS.
Oh, I'm referring to like the fans of the Premier League. The MLS sucks. It's so bad. It's so one-sided for Messi. It's unreal.
He still can't win it.
Dude, I've seen some of the tackles that he does and just doesn't get a yellow card. It's insane. It's just
real quick.
There's no money in him not being in the final.
They're letting that team play in the FIFA Club World Cup and
Why?
not the winners of the MLS, who
Yeah.
are the LA Galaxy. Shout to the LA Galaxy. They won it the most times. They're essentially the Boston Celtics, or Real Madrid. But they can't be in it. I read that and I said, you know what? That Infantino, bro, that guy, United Healthcare, Infantino. Okay. I'll have a good night.
Everyone have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow for the show. For those casual Reds, and then Thursday we'll be on for the Tottenham game, giving a review of what we've seen. Hopefully we can pull out a win there. And that's a nice sweater. It is. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.